Welcome to my channel, Crazy Sparkles. Today, I'm going to be reading the book, The Chocolate Touch. I'm going to be continuing from where I left off in the last video, which is in chapter 2. So let's begin. A whole box? I imagine you'd rather keep this for your coin collection than spend it on chocolate, wouldn't you? Oh no, John said. Chocolate any day. Go ahead then, help yourself, the storekeeper said, pointing to a heavily laden show table piled high with large cellophane-wrapped candy boxes, all exactly alike. You mean I can have one of these? John asked, his eyes round with surprise. The candy boxes were as big as the ones his father always brought home at Christmas time. Just help yourself, the storekeeper assured him. That is, unless you think it might be better to ask your mother first. She wouldn't mind, John said hastily, and blushed. The storekeeper winked knowingly. I am sure she won't, he assured. Not in the long run, anyway. John tucked one of the large boxes under his arm, declined the storekeeper's offer to wrap it as a gift, thanked him, and hurried out of the store before there could be any question of anyone's changing his mind. The storekeeper smiled as he watched his customer hurrying away down the street. John decided that it might be sensible to enter his house quietly by way of the kitchen, with the large candy box hidden behind him. He let himself in by the back door and crept up the kitchen stairway on tiptoe toward his own room on the top floor. Just as he was about to round the corner on the second floor to continue his way upstairs, he had to stop for a moment while his father walked by, coming along the hall from the bedroom telephone. That was Mrs. Buttercup on the phone, Mr. Meadows called to Mrs. Meadows as he walked down the front stairs. She said she was sorry John hadn't been able to get over to play with Susan this afternoon. But it was a good thing in a way, she thought, because Susan's already so excited about her birthday party tomorrow. I wonder where John can have got to. As soon as the second floor was quiet again, and John knew there was no danger that his candy box would be seen, he hurried silently up to his bedroom, pushed open the door, and slid the box under the bed. Then he walked heavily down to the living room. Well, there you are, Mrs. Meadows said. We couldn't imagine where you had been. What had you been doing? Oh, just sort of playing around, John said. John usually took a long time to put his things away and undress and bathe and get ready for bed, for he thought sleeping was a waste of time. But this evening he started yawning long before his usual bedtime. Ho-hum, ho-hum. Sleepy, John announced. All right, Mrs. Meadows said, you'd better be getting to bed. Time for your tonic. John's tonic came in a bottle. It had been prescribed by Dr. Cranium. John had to drink a big spoonful every night to make up for all the vegetables and fruit that he left on his plate at lunch and dinner. The tonic tasted like soap, mud, glue, ink, and paint. It tasted horrible. Much to Mrs. Meadows' surprise, John ran ahead of her to the dining room cupboard where the tonic and the tonic spoon were kept. By the time she got there, he had already filled the spoon. Then, without any coaxing, he emptied it into his mouth. Oh, John sputtered. Oof, bah! That's a very good boy, Mrs. Meadows said. Now, why can't you be sensible and eat up your nice dinner that way? If only you'd stop eating so much candy, you'd be able to eat your meals properly, and you wouldn't need to take the tonic. Soon, John was scrubbed and in his pajamas and in bed, ready to be tucked in for the night. Mrs. Meadows sat on the bed and stroked his forehead for a moment. Then she leaned forward and kissed his cheek. John, pretending to be he was very sleepy, shut his eyes and began breathing deeply. When Mrs. Meadows rejoined Mr. Meadows in the living room, she said, I've never known him to be so good about going to bed before. He went to sleep in no time. A few seconds after the bedroom door had closed behind his mother, John leaped up to the floor, got down on his hands and knees, and felt under the bed for the candy box.